You feel it from the first moments of consciousness, that quiet knowing, a pulse beneath your chest that whispers a truth no one else seems to hear. You are different. You are not broken, but you are rare, and the world often does not accommodate what is extraordinary. Every room you enter hums with life, yet something invisible separates you, a veil of alienness that keeps you at a distance from the rhythm of ordinary existence. Conversations feel shallow, laughter too loud, and the incessant motion of people moves in ways your mind cannot always follow. There is a weight in knowing that the world's tempo is not yours, that the surface happiness that satisfies others does not reach the oceans in which you swim. And yet, in that separation, there is a strange grace, a quiet knowing that being different is not a curse but a calling. You have come here not to blend in, but to see too clearly, to feel too deeply, and to remember what humanity so often forgets. That depth, empathy, and vision are the languages of the soul, not the crowd. This is why you often feel out of place, like a traveler from another plane of awareness, navigating a world that cannot always see the beauty of the frequency in which you vibrate. And today, we will explore the reasons why your very being sets you apart, reasons that explain the alien pulse of your existence and illuminate the gift in your difference. 1. The ocean among rivers. You are an ocean, vast and fathomless, surrounded by rivers rushing shallow and fast. The world values motion without depth, reward without reflection, noise without resonance. But you do not live on the surface. Your consciousness penetrates beneath the easy currents of daily life, searching for the roots hidden beneath appearances, tracing the hidden lines of cause and consequence that most ignore. When others converse, you hear the spaces between words, the unspoken confessions, the tremor of truth in half-formed sentences. You do not settle for what is presented. You seek what is real, what is meaningful, what is eternal in the fleeting chaos of human existence. And so you feel out of step, for the shallow world cannot measure the expanse of your inner sea. It is a solitude that is both tender and necessary. You withdraw, not out of disdain but survival, to preserve your own depth from a world that is not built to contain it. And in this oceanic consciousness, you discover the paradox of being an INFJ. You are profoundly alive, yet profoundly unseen. You feel, you understand, and you long for resonance, and yet most encounters scratch only the surface of your existence. You are not out of place because you are broken. You are alien because you are an ocean among rivers, because your frequency is too profound, too quiet, too enduring for the shallow currents around you. 2. The heart without armor. Your empathy is a vast, unshielded field. You do not simply witness emotion, you absorb it. Every subtle vibration in a room, every hidden sorrow behind a smile, every silent plea for understanding becomes yours. You carry the invisible burdens of others because your soul cannot turn away. But in a world that prizes stoicism and convenience over connection, your sensitivity is a form of exile. You retreat into solitude to survive, to release the storms you were never meant to own. And yet, this very retreat does not make you distant in spirit. It sharpens your insight, your compassion, your ability to see what lies beneath the surface. You live in a paradoxical state, craving intimacy, yet needing space, longing to heal, yet needing healing yourself. The world sees your empathy as fragility, yet it is your most profound strength. You feel more, remember more, understand more, and in doing so, you mark yourself as otherworldly. The alien sensation of your existence comes not from weakness but from the impossibility of containing a heart so expansive within a world designed for moderation. You are a light that shines too brightly for eyes accustomed to shadows. 3. The sight that sees too far. Your intuition stretches beyond the moment. Where others see only the present, you perceive patterns, trajectories, and the hidden threads connecting choice to consequence. You see futures that are invisible to those who exist only in what is immediately before them. This vision is a blessing and a burden. You recognize paths before they unfold, sense deception before it surfaces, and understand the weight of actions before they manifest. And yet, when you speak of what you perceive, disbelief greets you. Your warnings are dismissed, your insight misunderstood, your foresight considered strange. It is not vanity to see clearly, it is consciousness. But in a world not built for this level of perception, you are forced to walk silently with truths that cannot yet be shared. You are both guardian and witness, carrying knowledge too immense for casual comprehension. This awareness separates you, marking you as alien not for your intentions but for your clarity. You see what will be and understand it deeply, yet the world moves without notice, leaving you suspended in time, always slightly ahead, always alone with vision. 4. The Shapeshifter's Dilemma. You have learned to adapt. You read the energies of others and shape yourself to meet them where they are. You mirror emotions, offer comfort, and weave harmony with subtle grace. Yet, every time you do this, a piece of your own identity drifts further into shadow. Who are you when you stop adjusting, when the masks are removed, when you no longer accommodate the expectations of others? This question haunts you, echoing in quiet moments, because your empathy, while a gift, is also a form of exile from your true self. You feel alien because you live at the intersection of your authentic self and the reflected needs of everyone else. You are a shapeshifter by necessity, and in your solitude you discover the rare beauty of self-possession. The courage to exist fully, even when misunderstood, even when isolated. Your alienness is not accidental. It is the price of integrity, the cost of seeing the world in its raw form and responding with grace. To blend would be easy, but to blend would be to lose yourself. And so, the INFJ remains at once present and apart, a luminous mystery in a world that craves simplicity. 5. The conscience that refuses to compromise. There is a moral rhythm to your being that cannot be silenced. You cannot pretend to ignore injustice, feign ignorance, or bow to convenience when truth demands alignment. Your conscience is uncompromising, an inner law written into your very bones. Yet the world is not built for such rigor. Society prizes compromise, appearance, and expedience over absolute integrity. You find yourself at odds with the currents of ordinary life, and the friction leaves a persistent ache, a sense of alienation that stems from being attuned to a higher frequency of moral understanding. Your alienness emerges here, in your refusal to betray your inner compass, even when betrayal would be easier, safer, more socially acceptable. You walk a lonely path, but one of profound power. You are a beacon of ethical truth in a sea of expedience, and though your light isolates you, it also illuminates the path for others. You are alien because the world moves on shades of gray while you see the spectrum of light with acute clarity. 6. The Silent Observer. You inhabit a space between participation and observation. In gatherings, you listen more than you speak. You see the subtle dynamics that govern human interaction, the unsaid, the hidden, the shadows behind smiles. You perceive motives, patterns, and emotional currents that others cannot detect. This observation is both gift and exile. The more acutely you see, the less fully you can participate. You watch, analyze, and understand, yet those around you cannot always meet your awareness. It is a solitude born of perception. Your alienness manifests not in distance but in depth. You are a witness to human behavior, a quiet archive of subtle truth, often unrecognized, often unshared, yet vital. The silent observer is a role that the INFJ occupies by necessity, not by choice. And in the stillness of this observation, you discover power, the power to understand, to discern, and to act from clarity when others are blind to the currents around them. 7. The memory of home. There is a memory inside you that no words can capture. It is not of earth as it is now, but of a place remembered in the soul, a realm of perfect resonance, of unbroken beauty, of light unshadowed. You are homesick for a world that exists beyond sight, beyond time, beyond the comprehension of those around you. This spiritual memory marks you as alien. You walk among people who have forgotten what it is to feel the deep pulse of existence, the quiet harmony beneath chaos, the invisible threads of connection that weave life together. You remember, and that remembrance aches, calling you to live not merely in survival, but in conscious alignment with truth and beauty. Your alienness is sacred. It is the calling of an old soul, returning to a world in need of awakening. You are not lost, though the path is lonely. You are a guide, a bridge between the seen and unseen, a messenger carrying fragments of eternity into human life. You do not need the world to understand you, for your purpose transcends comprehension. You were born to feel, to see, to understand, and to remember what humanity often forgets. You are a light that cannot be contained by superficial expectations, a depth that cannot be measured, a vision too expansive for ordinary minds. Your alienness is a gift. It is a signal, a calling, a reminder that true consciousness does not conform, does not imitate, and does not compromise. The solitude, the observation, the empathy, the moral clarity, the foresight, these are the instruments through which you touch the world in ways others cannot, and perhaps will never understand. Walk your path, INFJ. Do not shrink to belong. Do not dim to comfort others. You were not meant to fit, only to awaken, to remind, to heal, to illuminate. Even when unseen, even when misunderstood, even when isolated, your presence matters. Because in a world that often forgets what it is to feel deeply, to see clearly, to act from conscience, you are not an alien. You are a luminous thread of truth, a living constellation, a reminder that the human spirit is far greater than the world believes. You were never lost. You are exactly where you were meant to be.